Sometimes the mask worn by even our closest people is so perfect that it becomes impossible not to believe in it. You trust their smile, rely on their words, value their attention, yet the truth hidden behind it can be completely different. They may be someone who drains your energy, undermines your dreams, and disrupts your mood. Every joke, gesture, or word may seem kind and harmless, but their true intentions remain masked. Stoic philosophy reminds us that being deceived by outward behavior is dangerous. Harmful people can quietly, invisibly enter your life and, if you don't pay attention, gradually poison you and steer you toward their desires. Now, I will present 7 clear signs. If you notice these red flags, know that the person standing beside you is not well-intentioned and their influence can seriously harm you. This knowledge will act as a shield. It will protect your energy and keep you safe from manipulation. Before we dive into the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share the video. Have you ever had one of the people closest to you constantly blame you, criticize you frequently over even the smallest matters? If so, it's worth thinking about. Yes, everyone can be critical at times, even our closest people, but sometimes, if it's constant, it's a red flag. Such people never take responsibility themselves. They see the fault in you. No matter what you do, it is never enough, and they keep attacking you. Someone who constantly blames you, that is the first signal. Imagine one day in a moment when you are tired, sensitive, and vulnerable. The person next to you puts even more pressure on you. You did wrong, they say. You didn't do it right, they insist. Your mood falters, your inner calm is disturbed, and your energy gradually diminishes. This person feeds on your strength. They use your weak moments as a source of energy for themselves. Stoic philosophy gives us a clear lesson here. Marcus Aurelius said, "You can only control your own actions, not the actions of others toward you." In other words, when someone blames you, their behavior reflects their own character and inner weakness, not your value. Yet accepting this is difficult. Human nature reacts immediately to words and criticism directed at us. In front of someone who constantly blames you, you try to defend yourself, explain, or sometimes remain silent while feeling guilty. This is their strategy, to control you and disturb your inner calm. At this point, a Stoic approach can help. There are 2 key things to remember. First, another person's words do not determine your value. Second, you can only take responsibility for your own reactions. Staying calm in the face of blame, maintaining emotional distance, and protecting your inner boundaries is true strength. For example, suppose you fail at a task. The person next to you immediately becomes angry. See, this is your fault. But Stoicism says, focus on the outcome, learn from your mistakes, and do not carry the burden of someone else's emotions. Their reaction reflects their character, not yours. In everyday life, such people often act in subtler ways. Perhaps you deliver a successful project, but they fail to acknowledge it or magnify a minor detail to criticize you. Here, your goal is not to change them, it is to protect your energy and inner calm. Stoics called this mastery over emotions. Most importantly, learn to set boundaries with such people. Don't allow them to steal your energy. Calmly, with understanding but firmness, recognize you will not be weighed down by their blame. This may seem simple at first, but in practice, it gradually strengthens your inner power and self-respect. So if the person next to you constantly blames you, know this is a red flag. It is their attempt to control you, drain your energy, and keep you emotionally weak. Stoic philosophy shows us that patience, discernment, and protecting our inner boundaries are the keys to true strength. The second trait of toxic people is their lack of empathy. If the person next to you fails to notice your feelings, if your joys and sorrows mean nothing to them, know that this is a major red flag. Toxic individuals focus solely on their own desires, wishes, and needs. What you feel is secondary to them. They ignore your happiness, dismiss your pain, and regard your fears as mere weaknesses. Think about it. You achieve something meaningful in your life, yet the person beside you neither acknowledges it nor shares in your joy. Or on the contrary, You go through a difficult moment, feeling sorrowful, but they remain indifferent to your emotions, sometimes even using your vulnerability to assert superiority over you. Stoic philosophy teaches us an important lesson here. Marcus Aurelius and Seneca both emphasize that understanding others and maintaining calm is one of the greatest strengths a person can have. Empathy is not just kindness. It is a power that protects inner boundaries and maintains healthy relationships. A person with empathy values the feelings of others, considers their emotional state, and fosters balance in relationships. Toxic people, however, are the opposite. Because they do not care about you, they gradually drain your energy. You constantly try to earn their attention, but it is never enough. Over time, this creates inner stress, irritability, and frustration with yourself. If the person next to you disregards your feelings, you should approach your relationship with caution. A lack of empathy can severely impact your emotional well-being over time. This is not merely hurt feelings, it is pressure that disrupts your inner balance. Every time you encounter such a situation, ask yourself, does this person value my feelings, or are they focused only on their own interests? If the answer is the latter, recognize it as a red flag and take steps to protect your energy. The third obvious sign of toxic people is that they do not respect your boundaries. One of the most important things in life is personal boundaries, not just physical, but emotional, mental, and time-related as well. Toxic people, however, ignore these boundaries. They do not accept your no, fail to value your time, disregard your opinions, and do not hesitate to disrupt your comfort. For example, you may want to spend a quiet evening after work, read a book or meditate, yet the person next to you disrespects this, criticizes you, or demands that you act according to their wishes. This may seem like a small example, but over time it erodes your energy, calm, and self-respect. Stoic philosophy teaches us here. Marcus Aurelius said, "Protect your inner boundaries, for self-preservation is the greatest strength." Respecting your own comfort and emotional balance shields you from manipulation, stress, and negative energy. By crossing boundaries, toxic people send a message: my rules are more important than yours. This creates stress and dissatisfaction, not only in relationships, but in other areas of life as well. Gradually, you may become accustomed to letting your boundaries be violated, losing your inner calm. The Stoic approach says, you are the owner of your boundaries. You must protect them calmly but firmly. If people cannot respect this, recognize it as a major red flag. They are not honoring your inner world or personal life. You, however, must remain calm while defending your boundaries. Remember, boundaries are not just about physical space. They are invisible walls that protect your time, energy, emotional balance, and mental well-being. Toxic people attempt to break these walls, but if you do not allow it, your inner strength, calm, and energy will remain intact. The core lesson of Stoic philosophy is this: protect yourself, protect your boundaries, and protect your inner strength. Being in a relationship with someone who does not respect boundaries will weaken you and bring no benefit. Therefore, guard your boundaries, value yourself, and never let anyone disturb your inner peace. If the person next to you tries to control you with their words and actions, know that this is a serious red flag. Toxic people are skilled at manipulation. They confuse your emotions, compel you to serve their goals, and do so in subtle, almost invisible ways. This is the fourth sign. For example, you want to make a decision, but they try to persuade you with statements like, if you don't do this, I'll be disappointed, or if you don't do this, you're not important to me. These sentences may seem harmless on the surface, but their true purpose is to manipulate you and steer you in the direction they want. Stoic philosophy teaches us here. Marcus Aurelius said, only inner stability is strong against the manipulation of others. In other words, when someone tries to manipulate you, staying calm, maintaining your inner balance, and controlling your emotions are your strongest weapons. Falling into their game drains your energy and disrupts your inner peace. For instance, when you need to make a decision at work or in your personal life, a toxic person may pressure you, using fear, guilt, or doubt to manipulate you. If you fall for it, they achieve their goal and weaken your inner strength. Reacting to a manipulative person is difficult because they use subtle techniques. Sometimes they praise you, sometimes they blame you, and other times they use fear and doubt to control you. The Stoic approach is clear. You can only control your own reaction. Their behavior does not define your value. By remaining calm and managing your emotions, you can resist manipulation. The danger becomes obvious if the person next to you constantly tries to control you and redirect your decisions for their own purposes. This is harmful. It can gradually undermine your inner energy, self-confidence, and quality of life. The core lesson of Stoic philosophy is this: your inner stability and emotional balance are your greatest strengths. If someone tries to manipulate you, stay calm, protect your boundaries, and do not fall into their game. This will preserve your inner power and peace, leaving you unaffected by manipulation. The fifth sign is that such people are constantly uneasy about your successes. If the person next to you does not genuinely rejoice in your achievements, but instead feels jealousy or tries to hinder your success, know that this is a major red flag. Toxic people cannot celebrate your accomplishments. They either resent them or attempt to minimize them. For example, you successfully complete a major project. Your presentation is a success, but the person next to you does not congratulate you or may even spread negative opinions about your achievement. For them, your accomplishments are a threat or a way to make themselves feel superior. Marcus Aurelius said, "A true friend rejoices in your success as much as you do." A real friend or healthy person does not perceive your achievements as a threat. They share in your joy, support you, and motivate you. Toxic people act differently. When they are uneasy about your success, they use it openly or subtly to diminish you, undermine your motivation, and sometimes even turn you against others. This is not just jealousy. It is an attempt to harm your life. Practical example: you have learned a new skill or achieved success in education or work, but the person next to you ignores it, makes you feel small, or casts a shadow over your accomplishment. Over time, this weakens your confidence and inner peace. The Stoic approach: another person's reaction to your success does not define your value. You can only control your own actions and your internal emotional response. If they envy you, it reflects their weakness, not yours. If the person next to you does not genuinely celebrate your success and tries to obstruct it, know that their intention is not aligned with your well-being. Your goal is to remain calm, protect your inner strength, and acknowledge your achievements. Others' reactions should not weaken you. Stoic philosophy reminds us, a true friend or a healthy person celebrates your success, draws strength from it, and supports you. Jealousy, manipulation, and unease are red flags that must be watched carefully. Protect your inner peace, value your achievements, and set boundaries against others' negative reactions. The sixth obvious sign of toxic people is that they lie constantly and hide the truth. They shape their words and actions to serve their own interests, avoiding honest interactions. This is not just small white lies. It is a systematic behavior that undermines your trust and inner peace. Think about it. You trust them to help you make a decision, but they do not tell you the full truth, hide important information, or mislead you. As a result, you make wrong decisions, lose energy, and gradually feel confused. This is their goal: to put you in a position that serves their interests. Stoic philosophy teaches a clear lesson here. Seneca said, "Honesty and openness make a person strong." A person's true strength is measured not only by what they know, but by their honest behavior toward others. Hiding the truth and lying are signs of weakness and manipulation. Toxic people test your trust and weaken you emotionally through this behavior. They always appear masked in front of you, and you cannot see their intentions. This gradually creates anxiety, doubt, and stress in relationships. The Stoic approach is, do not lose your inner calm because of another person's lies and concealments. You can only control your own reactions and decisions. A person who hides the truth is dangerous because they aim to undermine your trust and energy. If the person next to you consistently conceals information, lies, or manipulates, know that this behavior harms your life. Stay calm, protect your boundaries, and share your trust only with honest people. Stoic philosophy reminds us, honesty and openness give strength, while lying and concealment create weakness and manipulation. For your inner peace and energy, it is essential not to allow such behavior. The seventh sign of toxic people is their attempt to isolate you from your loved ones. This is done not just through words, but through actions as well. They want you to distance yourself from friends, family, and people who understand and support you. Why? Because an isolated person is easier to control. By leaving you alone, they aim to weaken your energy and emotional stability. Think about it. If the person next to you constantly says things like, "Don't meet with those friends," "They're a bad influence," or "Stay away from your family," they are holding you back. This is not advice. It is an attempt to interfere in your life. Isolated people become more dependent, and toxic individuals know this very well, which is why they act this way. Stoic philosophy sees a person's power in their inner freedom. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics taught that true strength does not lie in someone else's influence over you, but in your inner world and your ability to make free choices. As long as your energy and inner calm are protected, no one can control you. If the person next to you tries to isolate you, it only shows their desire for control. They want to remove the support and positive energy coming from others, making it easier to manipulate you. This is a clear danger signal in both relationships and other areas of life. The Stoic approach is, protect your boundaries. Do not allow connections with people who love and understand you to be severed. Calmly but firmly safeguard your inner freedom and support network. Your inner strength and balance will act as a shield against their attempts at isolation. Remember, attempts to isolate you are intended to weaken you. As long as you protect your boundaries and maintain your inner freedom, no one can manipulate you or drain your energy. This is one of the greatest lessons of Stoic philosophy: protecting your boundaries, preserving your inner strength, and staying connected with your support network shields you from all forms of manipulation. Toxic people can sometimes make you feel worthless and drained, without direct manipulation, simply through their behavior. This is the seventh sign and is a subtle but dangerous method. If you feel tired, meaningless, and empty when you are around them, it is a signal that this person is systematically depleting your inner energy. They belittle your achievements, ridicule your ideas, and even disregard your emotional needs. Think about it. You spend much of your day developing yourself, focusing on work, or spending quality time with loved ones. Yet the person next to you constantly brings down your mood, overshadows your successes, and makes you feel small and insignificant. Over time, this not only creates negative feelings but also weakens your inner strength and motivation. Stoic philosophy offers a very clear lesson here. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics taught that the quality of your life is measured by your inner calm. If the person next to you disturbs your inner peace, this is not just discomfort, it is a clear red flag. Staying near someone who constantly tries to bring you down can cause you to lose your energy, calm, and even self-confidence. Remember, this affects not only your emotions but also your physical and mental health. The exhaustion and sense of worthlessness you feel around a toxic person gradually reduce your life quality. Stoics teach us that inner calm and energy are our greatest treasures, and protecting them is in our hands. Therefore, recognizing such people in your life and keeping distance from them will give you inner peace and strength. Stoics teach that true power lies not in others' behavior, but in our control over our own reactions and choices. Thank you all for watching up to this point. If this topic interests you and you want to gain more knowledge like this in your life, subscribe to the channel, like the video and share it. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss new Stoic wisdom. See you in the next video.